Alright there people, this is Brad back again with another video, and this is my Premier League predictions for this weekend's games. Let's get straight into it then. We begin with the early kickoff at Selhurst Park between Crystal Palace and Liverpool. Palace, at the moment, they're not in a good place at the moment. There was some boos at Selhurst Park, which is not something you usually associate them with the way things have been in recent years. They've been pretty steady and stable, but they have been in poor form. Their defeat against Bournemouth really infuriated the supporters, and Roy Hodgson made some remarks after the game which would have infuriated many. Liverpool got to Selhurst Park on the back of a win against Sheffield United. In this game, I can only see one winner, and that is, of course, Liverpool. I'm going to say Crystal Palace 1, Liverpool 3. Next game, it is Brighton versus Burnley. Should be an interesting one, this one. Both teams play some very good football. Burnley do keep making mistakes at the back. Brighton are yet to keep a clean sheet. If this ends 0-0, my God, I don't know. It is so very, very unlikely that it's going to end up last on Match of the Day. I do think there'll be goals, but I think Burnley, I have a feeling they're going to get something here. I feel like something just might go their way this time round. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Sounds a bit bizarre, sounds a bit crazy, but I don't know. I've just got a feeling Burnley might go to Brighton and get something. They usually do tend to do quite well at the Amex Stadium in the past, so maybe that's something that might go in Vincent Kompany's favour. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw, the Amex. Next, it is my team, Manchester United, hosting Bournemouth in the Premier League. United with a big response on Wednesday night, and if they can perform like they did on Wednesday night against Chelsea, Bournemouth will be in for a very, very difficult afternoon. Bournemouth played very well at Crystal Palace, by the way, on Wednesday night. A 2-0 win for them. They've never won at Old Trafford. I can't see them getting a win at Old Trafford. Some people are backing them to go to Old Trafford and get a win. I can see why, because Manchester United, you just don't know which one is going to turn up. But I do think we are going to win again, and I'm going to predict a 3-1 victory for Manchester United at Old Trafford against Bournemouth. I found it quite baffling that last night, Newcastle, who beat us 1-0 and absolutely dominated us, that they lost 3-0 to Everton and away from home, who were brilliant, and United went to Goodison Park and won 3-0. It's bizarre. But I do think Manchester United will come away with all 3 points in this one. A big game against Bayern in midweek as well, so I don't know if Ten Hag will be making changes. I do think, though, Rasmus Højlund will finally break his duck and score his first Premier League goal for Manchester United this weekend. I am so rooting for him this weekend. I'm going to go 3-1 United. Next, it is Sheffield United against Brentford. Sheffield United welcoming back Chris Wilder, who suffered a 2-0 defeat at home to Liverpool, of course. For me, I can't really see any way back for Sheffield United. I think Brentford, they have got a few injuries. They've got quite an extensive injury list. And Mbeumo picked up an injury in the game against Brighton on Wednesday night. I do think they'll have enough to win, though. I'm going to go 2-0 to Brentford. Wolves against Nottingham Forest, a Midlands derby. Wolves are doing well under Gary O'Neill. Another win on Tuesday at home to Burnley. The week before, they went to Arsenal and lost 2-1. No shame in that, I suppose. But I do think that I do think that this game uh, is crucial. I think I can't see Forest getting anything. Steve Cooper is under huge pressure, especially after the performance on Wednesday night after losing 5-0 to Fulham at Craven Cottage. The owner apparently left the stadium in a furious. He threw his his badge into a bush and a fan found it. I don't know if it was a Fulham fan or a Forest fan, but he found the Nottingham Forest owner's badge given to him by Fulham, of course, which gives him access to key areas of the ground, and I'm sure he would have been furious. And this game will be important. I can see Steve Cooper's team coming back with a response in terms of the performance, in terms of the result. Do I think they will? I don't think so. I think it's going to be a tight game. It's not going to be as comfortable as it was on Wednesday. I'm going to go for a 1-0 win for Wolves in this one. And last but not least, Aston Villa hosts Arsenal. Villa already beating Manchester City midweek, who were awful on Wednesday night at Villa Park. 22 shots from Unai Emery's team. That's an absolute masterclass from Villa. And they are a team not to be messed with or underestimated. Third in the Premier League, above Manchester City. If they win, they go a point behind Arsenal. That's only if Liverpool lose at Crystal Palace, which I don't think is going to happen anyway. But I think Villa are going to win again. I'm going to go Aston Villa 1, Arsenal 0. I think Villa, the way that they are at home, 100% record at Villa Park. I can see Unai Emery's team doing it again. I'm going to go 1-0 Villa. Let's go into Sunday's games then. Everton against Chelsea. The atmosphere at Goodison Park was electric. There was some heated scenes right at the end between Everton and Newcastle players. You look at the leaders on that pitch, Tarkowski and Coleman, defending their players against the Newcastle lads. I don't know what happened in that game. I don't know what happened at the end. Apologies. I've seen the highlights. I saw the McNeil goal live. It was a good finish. He's in really good form at the moment. Chelsea were very poor at Old Trafford. I didn't actually think they were that bad, but a lot of Chelsea fans themselves were very critical of their performance, including Maurizio Pochettino. I did see some good parts of Chelsea's play. I thought Palmer scored a very good goal. But I think Chelsea are going to go to Goodison Park and win. I don't know why. I've got a feeling that they're going to go there and get a win. I'm going to say 2-0 to Chelsea in this one. Next, Fulham against West Ham. Probably not the most exciting game of the weekend. It is a London derby. Fulham, big win the other night on Wednesday against Nottingham Forest. And they're up against a West Ham team who are on the back of a 2-1 victory away at Tottenham. I watched the Tottenham game last night. The first half, very, very defensive from West Ham. Tottenham were just passing the ball around them constantly. Tottenham have taken the lead a lot of times. I'll get onto them later. But West Ham came back. I think they had a bit of luck. I'm not going to lie. I think, a deflection off Romero, then off Davis, fell into the path of Bowen, who scored. It was a good finish, to be fair. And then the second one, I think Udogie makes a back pass to Vicario. I think Ward-Prowse hits the post, or was it Bowen? And then Ward-Prowse puts it into an empty net to make it 2-1 to West Ham. It's another defeat for Tottenham, but for West Ham, I can see them winning away from home again. I can see them going to Craven Cottage and getting a late winner again. I'm going to say Fulham 1, West Ham 2. Luton Town against Manchester City. This is a must-win game for Manchester City against the biggest underdogs in the Premier League. It's huge David versus Goliath sort of stuff here. Luton was so unlucky to lose 4-3 to Arsenal on Tuesday night. Probably in the sense, I thought Arsenal probably just deserved to win, but I think the way it happened was really hard on them because they played so well in the game. They scored 3 goals against Arsenal. Man City couldn't score 1 against Arsenal in their league meeting. I don't mean that in a dig sort of way, but it is true. Luton are at home. The fans will be behind them. I'm rooting for Luton. Really hope that they manage to get something from this game. It will be amazing if they do win this game. But I am going to go for Man City. They need a response. They need a win. I can't see Luton beating Manchester City. I'm sorry. Luton did get a draw against Liverpool. They drove Arsenal very, very close. Kenilworth Road is not a ground would want to underestimate. They've got a fantastic ground, fantastic fan base. And I think Manchester City are going to win the game 3-1 at Kenilworth Road. I'm going to give Luton a goal. City are quite shaky at the back, but I do think that City will respond and get a victory in this one. And last but not least, it is Tottenham Hotspur versus Newcastle United. 2 teams were defeated on Thursday evening. And it's Ange Postecoglou versus Eddie Howe. 2 managers who like to play very attractive football. It could be a very exciting, high-scoring game, this one. It really definitely could. Newcastle have looked lethargic in that defeat against Everton. It was a bad night for Kieran Trippier. He'll be looking to put that right against his old club. Tottenham, the thing is, they take the lead. They've taken the lead in all of these games that they've lost. Chelsea, Kulusevski scored. Wolves, Johnson scored. Villa, Lo Celso scored. Man City, Son scored. Then he scored an own goal. And last night, Romero scored. But they come away with either 1 point or no points. Tottenham need to get their season back on track. I can't see Ange Postecoglou being under any pressure. He shouldn't be. I think the way that he goes for games is very good. It's refreshing. They haven't become a bad team overnight. They've had some bad luck with injuries, with Maddison and Van den Ven going off injured. Romero just came back from a ban. But I am going to go with Newcastle in this one. I am going to go with the visitors to go to Tottenham. I think it might be a similar game where Spurs take the lead and Newcastle come back from behind to win the game. I'm going to say 2-1 to the Geordies. So that concludes my Premier League predictions for the weekend. Please remember to like, subscribe and comment below your thoughts on these please remember to like and subscribe and comment below what your predictions are for these games. See you all soon. Bye-bye.